Our last piece, Twas the Night Before Christmas. And just give you a little backstory on this. Clement Clark Moore lived from 1779 to 1863. He was a scholar, a poet, a writer, a real estate developer, but he is best known as author of the Christmas poem, A Visit from St. Nicholas, which was the first name which first named each of Santa Claus' reindeer. However, Moore was a humble man. He created, quote, arguably the best known holiday verses ever written by an American. The poem was first published anonymously in December 23rd of 1823. It had been given to the paper's editor by Sarah Sackett of Troy, New York, who probably got it from Harriet Moore, Clement's wife. Anonymously or pseudonymously publications of poetry was customary at the time, but as the poem's popularity grew, so did curiosity about its author. It wasn't until 1837 that Clement C. Moore admitted to being the writer of the famous work. Later on, around 1915, this poem was set to a full band orchestration by Newell. I'm happy to announce we have pulled this out of the archives, where it has sat at North Mason High School's music vault for more than 40 years since this piece has been played here before, to be revitalized, re-energized, and performed on the stage for you tonight. The story speaks of Christmas Eve. A family is settling down to sleep when the father is awakened by noises on their lawn. I don't want to give away too much if you haven't heard this story, because that's what our musicians are here for. But what would be a good story without a good storyteller? Now, seeing that Clement Moore didn't want the limelight and the story passed along by women in this time, I felt it only fitting to have a similar sharing of tonight's story. Our guest narrator has recently performed with the Bremerton Symphony, the Peninsula Dance Theater production of Nutcracker, and is near and dear to all of our hearts out here on stage, especially mine. Please help me welcome Mrs. Melissa Drewry to stage.
Christmas, when all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas would soon be there. Visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver, so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles, his reindeer they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, a Comet, a Cupid, a Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky. So up to the housetop, the reindeer they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkle, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur, from his head to his foot. And his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked just like a peddler opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wraith. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed, like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him, in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and the twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to work, and filled all the stockings, and then turned with a jerk. Laying his finger aside his nose, and giving a nod up the chimney, he rose. He sprang to his sleigh. To his team, he gave a whistle. And away they all flew, down the thistle. But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all!" And to all a good night.
you all again for coming. Please have a safe drive home, and we hope you have a Merry Christmas.